We turn our attention here to Tax Revolt 2011 Heads on a Stick, and this is what we love. Now we have an opportunity for real chaos because the top union hack, the SEIU, which is the Service Employees International Union of California, they represent 700,000 public employees in California, and they are saying in no uncertain terms to Jerry Brown, forget about this thing where you want the people to vote on the taxes. We don't want that. And, of course, Jerry Brown, so far, from what we understand, is still hell-bent to keep his campaign promise that we will vote on the taxes.
Well, unless he wants to become a complete clown, he has to go through with it. Now, you remember, last week we told you that we are giving the Republican legislators special dispensation to put the tax referendum on the ballot because it's clear if it goes on the ballot, it would lose. The taxes would lose. Calling Jerry Brown's bluff, calling the bluff of the unions, calling the bluff of the Democratic legislators, who went on for months crying and squealing and whining. It's like, how could you stop democracy? Californians have the right to vote. Remember, they could not shut up whining and crying. And, of course, we were against the idea because they had $60 million in union money to use for propaganda. Well, now they're losing so badly in the polls, that propaganda money isn't going to be of any use. And you know what? The stupid union bastards know it. Because now, David Kiefer, he's that bald-headed a-hole that we had up on the website last week with the stick through his head.
Right, because he had this master plan to basically take over the legislature for the public employees. That's right, get more and more of your tax money to spend on the parasites. That's why we had him up there.
And he had also said that this tax increase idea, the people should not be involved in this matter. Remember?
Dismissive.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to be involved in that decision.
Right.
Well, here's what's happened now. The Republicans have agreed to put the tax referendum on the ballot in exchange for
reform,
some kind of spending cap, some kind of pension reform. We'll see what the details of that are.
There's another sticking point in that deal, though, because Jerry Brown wants what's called a bridge tax, which means these taxes go on past June 30th until we vote. Apparently no Republicans in favor of that.
Well, but you see how it's all changed? A few months ago, Jerry Brown was willing to do a deal. And it was, let's put the tax referendum on the ballot, and I'll try to get the unions to agree to these reforms.
That's because they thought they were going to get a vote before June 30th.
I know, but
once that went past.
Well, that's not what he said at the beginning of the year. He just all right, so now the Republicans are agreeing, and I guess the unions are agreeing to a certain number of reforms. Republicans are agreeing to put the taxes on the ballot. We're agreeing put the taxes on the ballot, right? Okay, everybody's in harmony. Now Jerry Brown wants a 3-month tax increase, but the Democrats in the legislature now want a 1-year tax increase.
Yeah, they want 1-year extension.
They don't want the referendum.
And they want to restore $1 billion in the cuts that were made previously.
Now, why do you think they want a 1-year tax increase instead of going on the ballot for a 5-year increase?
Aha.
Well, David Kiefer, the head of the SEIU union, said he doesn't think he's going to put any union money in a fall tax campaign.
It is fraught with peril, he said. He told the Sacramento Bee, it's my members' money. And if I went to my members and my board and said we can either play heavily and do good politics in 2012 or we can lose an election with this money, I don't think I even have to pose the question to get the answer.
So he's not going to spend any SEIU money. He thinks a 2011 election would have a low turnout of voters whom he called elites. You know what that's code word for?
Taxpayers?
White, middle, and upper middle class taxpayers.
Yeah, I read that as taxpayers.
He wants to push this off to 2012 when the Obama crowd pours into the election booth. You see? Because he thinks the Obama crowd is going to vote for more taxes.
Nice.
So that's why suddenly the legislators are saying, oh, let's do this for a year. And Kiefer is saying, yeah, let's do this in 2012. Because Kiefer is saying a 2011 election would result, well, I'll give you the exact quote, I think it's highly likely the taxes would lose. So now all of a sudden, they don't want a tax referendum. They want Jerry Brown to violate his promise to the voters. They want the Republicans to now vote for a tax increase instead of putting the tax referendum on the ballot.
But I thought this is all about the people weighing in, democracy.
No, it's not anymore. You know what? I want to get Clay Ray. We got to dig up the quotes maybe for tomorrow of all their public proclamations, all Jerry Brown's proclamations. Remember, you saying, "Look what's happened in Egypt, and here in California, the people are being blocked from expressing their democratic right to vote." Remember all that nonsense? Suddenly, that's all off the table because they've been outsmarted. They've been checkmated. Now everything got delayed long enough. They saw the polls. It's going down 2-1. They realize there's going to be a low turnout in September. They realize they're going to have to debate a tax increase, not a tax extension. Now they don't want to play anymore. It's like, well, this is not right. I'm going home. I'm not giving any money to this. I don't even want a tax vote anymore. Can't we just get a tax increase for a year? And then when the stupid Obama voters get a chance to vote, maybe they'll give us the tax increase?
Well, for what it's worth, Jerry Brown's spokeshole, Duran Duran, said that the governor remains committed to the pledge of having the people vote. The people are the ultimate authority. The governor made a promise during the campaign. He's not wavering from it. We'll see how long that lasts because, you know what, John, without the $60 million of union money, this will be even easier than we thought.
Yeah. So, I mean, look how dishonest they are. Look how dishonest the Democratic legislators are. Jerry Brown, this David Kiefer a-hole, and all these other jackasses. They screamed for 6 months, give us an election. Okay, guys, let's do the election. Oh, no, we don't want an election. We might lose. Oh, you might lose.
Isn't it funny how political people always say, well, we never govern by polls. I don't look at the polls. That's what's driving all of this because each poll that's come out lately says more and more that people are going to vote no on the taxes. Yeah, but they were very confident back in January when there was a set of polls that looked like it was going in the other direction. Yeah. But as the months have gone by, they're like, well, so much for democracy. Stay home.
Lying, cheating,
Let's see
dishonest.
if we can bribe in the legislature to get this done without the people involved. All right, when we come back, we have a new target on the website. Of course, SEIU California's David Kiefer. But there is a local...